Hi everybody, I get a lot of people that ask me about the 9.8 values compared to the Veve, comic that's coming out that week or something like that. And although those numbers are what they are, I don't think we can always trust
No trust. Liar.
those numbers. So today I want to spend some time talking about that. So a lot of people, when a comic, is announced on Veve, they immediately go right to go collect or some of those things. And I have links to that. If you go to my website, veverank.com, I have a link below. I have all the, comics. And if you go there, I have links to eBay, Go Collect, a lot of different places to help you, research the comic. But a lot of people go to Go Collect and they look at the 9.8 or 9.6 prices and say, okay, this is, how much the comic is. And so then they try to project that forward. And that's obviously a good way to do it. But I think we need to talk about, sometimes I think some of the numbers are a little bit misleading. Not because they're trying to, trick you or anything like that. It's just that there's everything behind it you need to recognize and think about. So let's talk about some of them. So I have a bunch of comics to show you. Really, this video is just an excuse to show a bunch of my comics because I like to show comics. But hopefully you'll find it interesting and fun. But definitely let me know in the comments below. Let's get to it. All right. First two. We're going to do comic versus comic. So let's see what we think. Okay, the first two comics I have that go against each other are this one, Kanan the Last Padawan number 6. What is the significance of this? It is the first appearance of a lot of these key characters from the Star Wars cartoon Rebels, mainly Ezra Bridger and Sabine. And both of these are rumored to be in the new Disney Plus show, and I think Sabine could show up as early as the Boba Fett show. That's coming out in a couple weeks. So, a 9.8. This seems like a really good book to own. It is a good book to own. What about this one? This is Silver Surfer Black number 1. An iconic run that is relatively new. Came out a couple years ago. And this particular version of the cover, and we like very rare versions of the cover, there's only 400 made. 9.8s, I don't know how many there are. Under 25. This one is actually signed by the artist Scott Williams, who is a well-known artist, and I think is one of the best Silver Surfer covers ever. And I have a lot of Silver Surfer covers, believe me. Just love the colors and whatnot. So, which one would you want? It's actually really clear. This one, as unbelievable as it is, and signed, there might only be 5 in existence or something like that. I don't even know. Let's just say 25, but not many, and not many 9.8s. Sells for, $300, $400 maybe. Maybe you could get that. And it just, as awesome as it is, it really has no upside. So this one, there's much more of them in existence. But because of Star Wars and the first appearance of these characters, they're both 9.8s. This one sells for around $600 right now. I think if those characters show up in any of the shows, this comic will skyrocket. So, like I said, when you're looking at, they're both 9.8s, you're looking at that price, but understanding the background, the upside, that's pretty important. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, here we go. This is Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History number 1. What an awesome name for a comic. Destroys Marvel History. Anyways, this is Cosmic Ghost Rider. Clayton Crane is one of my favorite artists, and this is an absolute unbelievable knockout cover. Signed by him. 9.8. Very, very few of these in existence. And let's put it up against the other one. We're staying in the Silver Surfer world because I want to try and keep apples to apples. This is Silver Surfer Black number 4, an iconic battle between Noel and Silver Surfer. It's kind of cool. He's using the board as a sword there. Peach Momoko is one of the hottest new artists, and I sent this one to Japan to get signed. Lucky that it came back at 9.8. But an awesome cover. Which one would you want? And the answer is both of them sell for around $400. maybe a little bit more for the Ghost Rider one. Oh, and interesting, I'll add this. The Ghost Rider, Cosmic Ghost Rider first appearance was actually Thanos 13, which we have in the VV app. But it's a trick question. They're fun books to have, but probably neither of them will do anything. I wouldn't invest a lot of money, and that's why they're only probably around $400 or $500 only. It's expensive, but not when we're talking about some of the comics that I usually talk about on this channel. It's really just people love those artists or those covers, but I don't know about the upside. Maybe once most of them are gone, the price will go up a little bit. But yeah, it's a trick question. So even looking at those prices, you're like, oh, $500, but probably won't go anywhere. So if you're going to buy something like that, or you'd be looking, if they were to come to the VV app, you definitely want to consider what's going on with the comic. So that was a trick question. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I tried to show one from the app so we know. So I've talked about this one a lot before. This is Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales, who is Spider-Man in a different universe. Was in the Into the Spider-Verse and the Sony's PlayStation. Is a huge up-and-coming character. This is a 9.8. And for the all practical purposes, let's pretend this one wasn't signed. So it generally goes for about $3,000 in a 9.8. And I really like this one. I talk about this comic a lot. And let's put it up against, this is not a 9.8. So this is where I'm going to cheat a little bit. This is Incredible Hulk #1, only a 1.8. But a very old comic from 1962, the first appearance of Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk. Notice how he's gray here before he becomes green. Anyways, so an iconic book, fun book to have. And I think this is probably worth maybe, I don't know, $15,000 or something like that. And not many of these left in the world. Like I said, so there are about 1,300 Incredible Hulk #1s, all grades. And I think the highest graded is a 9.4, which is kind of amazing. There's no point, yeah. So just when everybody's like, oh, you either buy a 9.8 or nothing. Well, you would have trouble doing that with Incredible Hulk. So let's talk about it though. So which one would you rather have? This is once again kind of a trick question, but it's closer than you think. So of course you say, oh, I want the Incredible Hulk. And yeah, it makes sense, but they're expensive. But let's just look at the potential value of Ultimate Fallout 4. So if you look at, there's around 1,300 Hulks. Obviously, if you have the most expensive one, right, the highest graded one, it'd be worth, I think they're saying, maybe $2 million, maybe more. We don't know. It hasn't sold for a long time, so we don't know. And you kind of look at the other 1,300 and you average out. We think the market cap, in other words, if you add up the value of all of them, I estimated it, is probably around $56 million for Incredible Hulk. Okay, so let's look at Ultimate Fallout 4. Ultimate Fallout 4, there are 4,000 9.8s, and then there's a bunch of 9.6s and 9.4s. The print run for that one is 84,000 or something like that. And if you have just a raw book that's not graded, which there are a lot of those out in the world, because there's only, like I said, 10,000 of those graded. 74,000 of them still exist in the world. And if you put them on eBay, if you just have a raw one, it will generally sell between $400 and $500, something like that. So if you look at the market cap for Ultimate Fallout 4, and you add it all up and kind of do some estimation and whatnot, I got that to be $67 million. So in other words, the market cap for Ultimate Fallout 4 is higher than Incredible Hulk #1. I realize this is not necessarily apples to apples, but it gives you a feel for the demand for Ultimate Fallout 4. I feel like I'm shilling Ultimate Fallout 4. I'm actually not. I'm just trying to find numbers to show that 9.8 is not always, the value of it is not always what we think, because there might be way, way more of those in the world. And so that money is spread out. If Ultimate Fallout 4, just like Incredible Hulk, only had 1,300, is it possible we would see a much, much, much higher value on Ultimate Fallout 4? Yes, because as of right now in the world, $67 million are in that comic of value, are in that comic right now. And so, and as I said, at quick numbers with Hulk, it's maybe around 56 million, but they're close. And so when you're looking at investing, you want to try and also look at how many graded copies, and then if you can, try to figure out the print run, especially on these modern books. Now, the older ones, that we talk about from 1960s and whatnot, that we've been seeing a lot of, most people, and I believe this too, is most of the copies have been destroyed, and most of them are graded, the ones that do exist. Now, they're obvious. So when you look at Go Collect or some of these other tools, and you can see how many are graded, that is probably close to how many is left in the world. So now there are other grading services other than CGC. We always focus on CGC. There's CBCS, but they're much smaller percent, and so I wouldn't focus necessarily on the exact number. There's 13,222. It's just, there's 13,000, 14,000. That seems like a big number. And then you go look at Incredible Hulk or some of the other ones that we're seeing like Fantastic Four. Try and get a feel for how many exist, and that will give you some ideas on how to value that 9.8. Is it close? What type of demand? And then think about, and I've tried to include some of this, and I'll include more of this on my website, is where do we think this character or characters might go? Is this a first appearance? All these things you have to play in. You can't just look at the 9.8 price. So that's what I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all soon.